You thought this deck was dead, but we're going to be talking about Kashtira Tearlaments today. This is post-ban list, and I whipped this up super quickly because I was testing this in advance just to see what would happen. And this is a list that I landed on recently. So let's talk about it and let's go through every card. So first off, we have 3 of each of Kashtira Fenrir and Kashtira Tearlaments. Now, these are your main cards. Fenrir gets Tearlaments, Tearlaments gets to mill a few cards, and it also is an extender, so that's very good. This is just another way to get to Tearlaments Kashtira, which I really, really like. We have triple Tearlaments Reno Heart, which I really think we have to play now. 1 Sharon, 1 Havness, 1 Merrily, because all 3 of the ones that fuse got limited. 2 King of the Swamp as replacement for Kikkalos, and in my opinion, a really good replacement. We have the Bestial package of Druid's Worm and Magnuma. You can take them out for whatever you need. We also have Heralding the Orange Light with all 4 Shizu cards at 1. So that is wonderful and great because I was getting annoyed with these cards so much. We have triple Pressured Planet Wraithsloth. This is the field spell for Kashtira. It's another Fenrir and Tearlament. And we also have triple Perlino, which is a copy of every single Tearlament name. We have Triple Scream, which is a copy of your spells or as your traps. You have Solic, is 2 Solic and 1 Crime. And then for the lovely one-ofs, we have 1 Instant Fusion, which you can really take out, but it's more for Mud Dragon now. But in my opinion, you could take it out for another Triple Tactics Thrust. We have 1 Polymerization for King of the Swamp, 1 Terraforming, 1 Triple Tack, Double Thrush, and 1 Set Rotation. The extra deck, we're now running Grapha, Dragon Overlord of the Dark World. Very, very powerful card, as it changes a effect into a discard, which I really like. 1 Kaleido Heart, 1 Rukalos, 1 Dracostapelia, 1 Garura, 1 Mud Dragon. Now for the Xyzs, we have 1 Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, 1 Arise Heart. You can make it. It is possible, but it is more for turn 3. 1 Baguska, 1 Abyss Dweller. These are options if you need them. 1 Underworld Goddess, 1 Asta, 1 Dark, 1 Donner, and 1 Sprite Sprind. And let's get into talking about this deck. This is actually a very, very good deck and very fun deck. I did a few test hands, and honestly, it is really, really strong still. But it still poses some issues. It does brick here and there like almost every other deck, but let's do a test hand so I can show you what the deck can do. So as we can see, we open up Mudora, Reno Heart, Sharon, Druid's Worm, and a Wraithosis. So I always go with the field spell for Kashtira so I can get the Fenrir out. So I can special the Fenrir. So I kind of do have a backup plan for if they have a Gamma. But we're going to get Tearlaments Kashtira. We're going to activate our Sharon. We're going to summon it and pitch the Reno Heart. And we're going to use the Reno Heart effect, summoning out Reno Heart. And we're going to be discarding the Kashtira. So Reno Heart chain 1 and Kashtira chain 2. We are going to be sending Merrily to the graveyard, and we're going to use Merrily's effect, and we're going to go into the Rukolos using both of those. So now we have 1 piece of the puzzle. Now let's get to the other pieces of the puzzle, and this could be quite hard and interesting to do because we really need to get our Sharon to the graveyard by a card effect. But we didn't open up anything like a polymerization to help that, because if I had a polymerization, I would have gone Sharon, Reno Heart, and Rukalos into our Kaleido Heart, so I could summon back the Kaleido Heart and also get a Grapha. But in my opinion, I would just use these 2, go into the Abyss Dweller, and pass the turn off there. But let's do another hand, and this is another example of what I was talking about. So first off, we're going to activate Terraforming because this could be Ashbait, and we're going to grab our Wraithoth. And we're going to use the effect to grab, I guess, a Fenrir, because even though we already have a Fenrir, it's absolutely fine. We're going to go Fenrir, activate the effect, trim out our deck a little more so our mills become better. We're going to activate the planet Perlino, and then we're going to add Sharon because she is the most important one of the deck right now. And we're going to summon her, pitching the Kashtira. Then we get to chain 1 Kashtira, chain 2 Merrily. So Merrily is going to fusion summon. We're going to go up into a Rukalos using both of these to summon her out. And then we get to mill and use Havness effect, chaining Kelbeck, chaining Perlino, because Perlino, we're going to pop our Sharon. Now this, we have to see what we milled, and we get a Reno Heart, so we're going to use Havness plus Reno Heart, and I guess we're going to use King of the Swamp or Sharon. So I think I'm going to go Sharon so we can summon out that and use Scream's effect, and Scream is going to grab a Soulic or Crime. It does not matter which one. We're going to use Tearlaments, summon out her, banishing the Scream from the graveyard, then use the effect to mill 3. And we have both Shufflers in the graveyard, which is actually very, very cool. And I think we're just going to end on this board with the Soulic set. So you can see how this deck is still pretty powerful, and in my opinion, it is definitely one of the decks that I do see having a potential in the future being played as a mixed mash deck that we've seen time and time before, which I really do like. And the deck does self-pilot itself sometimes, and other times it kind of doesn't. Because sometimes you can just end on something like this, but that's really not enough. But other times you can have hands like this where you just kind of brick a little. But this really doesn't matter for a hand, since we could just go special the Fenrir, use the Fenrir, grab our Tearlaments monster, and we already are a little going off, and we can go into a Rukalos easily. And we just can keep going and going, which in my opinion is pretty cool. And if we end on a hand like this, I wouldn't mind that. Just a Kelback and a King of the Swamp, I would not mind this at all. Other than that, for how this deck works, it is definitely more, you have to think of what you want to do than what old tier was. But you can end on things like this, and if they have something for the Grapha, you could just pitch the Kelback mill 5 and see what happens. But I hope you guys did enjoy this deck profile on Kashtira Tearlaments post the February 13th ban list. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.